The Adventures of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain. Longman Simplified English Series. Read by Miss Metavi Simmons. Chapter 23. Track the Money. Tom had a fearful dream that night. As he lay next morning recalling the details, he noticed that they seemed curiously far away and unreal. Then it occurred to him that the great adventure itself must be a dream. This certainty must be swept away. He would have a hurried breakfast and find Huck. Huck was sitting on the end of a boat and looking very miserable. "Hello, Huck." "Hello, Tom." Silent for a minute. "Tom, if we'll left the tools at the dead tree, we'll have got the money. Oh, aren't we unlucky?" "It's not a dream then?" "Dream? I've had horrible dreams all night, with the Spanish devil chasing us all through them. Curse him." "Don't curse him. Find him. Track the money." "Tom, we'll never find him, and I'd be friendless into that if I did see him." "Well, so would I, but I'd like to see him and track him to his number 2. "Number 2? Yes, that's it. I've been thinking about that, but it's a mystery to me." "What do you think is it?" "I don't know. It's too difficult." I say Huck. "Perhaps it's the number of a house." "No, Tom, that isn't it." "If it is, it isn't in this one house at all. There aren't any number here." "Well, that's all. Let me think a minute. I know. It's a number of the room. In and in. I'm sure." "You've got it. There are only 2 inns. We can find out quickly." "Wait here, Huck, till I come back." Tom was off at once. He did not care to have Huck company in public place. He was away half an hour. He found out that in the Better Inn number 2 had long been occupied by a young lawyer, and was still occupied in the other inn. Number 2 was a misery. The innkeeper's young son said that it was kept locked all the time, and that he never saw anybody go into it or come out of it except at night. He had noticed that there was a light in the room the night before, and explained the mystery by suggesting that it was hung. "That's what I find out, Huck. I think that is very number 2 we're after." "I think it is, Tom. Now, what are you going to do?" "Let me think." Tom thought for a long time. Then he said, "I'll tell you. The back door of that number 2 is in the little lane behind the inn. Now you get out the door keys that you can find, and I'll take Auntie's, and the first dark night we'll go there and try them. And remember to keep a lookout for a skinjo because he said he was going to spy round once more for a change to get his revenge. If you see him, just follow him. If he doesn't go to that number 2, that isn't the place. Good heaven, I don't want to follow him by myself. Why? It's been night. He might never see you, and if he did, perhaps he'd never
If it's really dark, I follow
anything.
him. Well, I don't know. Alright, I try. Believe me, I'd follow him if it does hug. Why he might be going straight to that money. That's so, Tom. That's so. I'd follow him. I swear I will. Now, that's the way to talk. Don't you ever weaken hug, and I won't. So that night, Tom and Hal waited about the neighborhood of the inn until after nine, one watching the lane at a distance, and the other the inn door. Nobody entered the lane or left it. Nobody at all, like the Spaniard entered or left the inn door. So Tom went home, having agreed that if the night was very dark, Huck was to come and meow. Then Tom would slip out and try the keys. But the night was clear, and Huck in his word and retired to bed in an empty barrel about midnight. On Tuesday, the boy had the same bad luck, and on Wednesday also. However, Tuesday night seemed more promising. Tom split out with his old tin lamp and a large towel it covered it with. He hid the lamp in Huck's barrel, and the watch began. An hour before midnight, the inn closed, and its lights were put out. No Burnett had been seen. Nobody had entered or left the lane. Everything was favorable. All was in darkness, and the perfect stillness was interrupted only by occasional mutterings of distant thunder. Tom got his lamp, left it in the barrel, and wrapped it closely in the towel. And the two adventurers crept in the gloom toward the inn. Huck stood on guard, and Tom felt his way into the lane. Huck was full of intensity as he waited. Suddenly, there was a flash of light, and Tom came flying past him. "Run for your life!" he gasped. "Run for your life!" He need not have repeated it. Once was enough. Huck was traveling. Tom felt his way into the lane. Huck was full of anxiety as he waited. Suddenly, there was a flash of light, and Tom came flying past him.
Run for your life! He gaped. Run for your life! He need not have repeated. One was enough. Huck was traveling 30 or 40 miles an hour before the repetition was out of Tom's mouth. The boy did not stop till they reached a desert set at the lower end of the village. Just as they got inside, the rain poured down. As soon as Tom got his breath, he said, "Huck, it was awful. I tried to off the keys just as softly as I could, but they wouldn't turn in the lock. Well, without noticing what I was doing, I took hold for the door handle, and the door came open. It wasn't locked. I crept in and shook off the towel, and then, "Go on! What happened, Tom?" "Huck, I almost stopped on risking your hand." "No." "Yes, he was lying there, fast asleep on the floor, with his arms spread out." "No, God heaven! What did you do? Did he wake up?" "No, he never moved. Drunk, I think. I just snatched up that towel and ran. I never have thought for the towel. Well, I would. My aunt would skin me alive if I lost it." "I say, Tom, did you see that box?" "Huck, I didn't wait to look round. I didn't see the box. I didn't see the cross. I didn't see anything except the bottle and a tin cup on the floor beside Redskin Joe. Yes, and I saw 2 barrels and many more bottles in the room. Don't you see? Now, what's wrong with that haunted room?" "What?" "Why, it's haunted with drink. They pretend they don't sell drink there. Don't sell drink there. Who would have thought such a things? But I say, Tom, now is a good time to get the box. If Redskin you're drunk." "Is this? You try it." Huck sweared. "Well, no, I don't think I will. And I think not, Huck. Only 1 bottle beside Redskin Joe, it isn't enough. If there are 3, I'd do it." There was a long pause for a thought, and then Tom said, "Look there, Huck. Let's not try any more until we know Redskin Joe not there. It's too frightful. If I watch every night, we'll be absolutely sure to see him go out sometime or other. Then we'll snatch that box quicker than lightning." "All right, I'll watch the whole night, and I do it every night too, if you'll do the other part of the job." "I will. All you've got to do is to come round to the house and meow, and if I'm asleep, throw some stone up at the window, and that will bring me out. Now, Huck, the storm over, and I'll go home. It will be daylight in a couple of hours if I don't want you in the daytime. Hug. I'll let you sleep. I won't come round and worry you if you see that something's happening in the night. Just come round and meow.